Hello and welcome to BioRules video lessons. Today we are going to be talking about ultraviolet radiation and the ozone layer. So what's important about ultraviolet and what is ultraviolet? Well, ultraviolet is that wavelength of radiation that's very close, very similar to the visible radiation. Actually, it's a slightly shorter wavelength radiation than violet, which is closer to blue, which is closer to green. So if you have a slightly shorter, then it's ultraviolet. It's invisible for us, we don't see ultraviolet. Some animals do. There are some insects and birds that are capable of seeing ultraviolet, but we can't. So what's important about the ultraviolet radiation? Ultraviolet radiation has the capacity of penetrating tissue. So it's capable of passing through the protective layers of our skin, entering the cell and destroying DNA. So what's the problem with destroying DNA? Well, it speeds up the process of aging, and what's more dangerous, it can cause skin cancer, which is a specifically very dangerous type of cancer. Our skin is capable of regenerating very quickly because we cut it, we damage it all the time. But if you have a tissue that already has a high capacity of regeneration, a high capacity of multiplying cells, and you break the control of the cells and the cells start multiplying out of control, it can become very dangerous. It becomes a cancer, and it's a cancer that's particularly dangerous because it metastasizes very easily. A skin cancer can very easily become a brain cancer, a lung cancer, or anywhere else in your body. So skin cancers are very dangerous, and you have to be very careful to protect ourselves against ultraviolet radiation. Good news are that to a certain amount we can wear sunscreen. So sunscreen can protect you against ultraviolet radiation, and it's strongly advisable that every single person wear sunscreen. Okay. Additionally, ultraviolet radiation can cause cataracts, which is damaging the lenses in our eyes. The lenses becomes opaque and you end up getting blind. So another good idea, wearing sunglasses. Sunglasses that are approved as filtering ultraviolet radiation, of course. Okay? It also affects phytoplankton, and it also affects corals. Here I put effects because a little bit of ultraviolet radiation is used by phytoplankton and by corals, actually by the algae, the zooxanthellae that live inside the corals, to do a little bit of photosynthesis. But too much ultraviolet radiation is damaging the phytoplankton and is also damaging the coral reef, so not something good that we would like to have around. Okay. However, ultraviolet radiation can be helpful for us. We humans use ultraviolet radiation in our skin to fix vitamin D. So we eat stuff that contain precursors of vitamin D, but we eat, we get the vitamin D fixed in our body after we are exposed to the sun. So it's very important that you have vitamin D, because low vitamin D can create several problems to us. We are going to see this later when we are studying evolution of skin color. But just to give a little bit of a spoiler here, low vitamin D can cause rickets, can cause osteoporosis, can cause depression, and can lower your immune system. So vitamin D is quite important, and a little bit of UV we need. But you don't need to skip the sunscreen to get enough vitamin D. Put your sunscreen on and go to the sun once in a while. You'll be protected and you'll get enough vitamin D. Okay? Why I'm talking about ultraviolet when we have ecology classes? This should be in the health class. Actually, there is one thing in our atmosphere called ozone. Ozone is actually an oxygen molecule made of 3 oxygens, and the ozone is a gas that's capable of filtering and scattering ultraviolet radiation. So UVC is totally blocked by our atmosphere. UVB is strongly filtered by the ozone layer. UVA is capable of passing, and that's one that should be careful because it passes through the ozone anyway and is going to be causing aging. But UVB is even more dangerous to cause skin cancer. So we should protect ourselves against UVB. The problem is UVB passes through the atmosphere if the ozone is less concentrated. So why is that a problem? The problem is that oxygen can make O2 or can make ozone. And ozone can become O2 again, or O2 can become ozone. These guys here, they are going one in the direction of the other. Okay? Ozone filters UV, especially UVB, reduces UV incidence enough, but the problem is that the ozone layer suffered a vicious, strong attack by the end of the 20th century. It reduced so much the concentration in some areas that in some place of the globe, like now in the South Pole, we have a hole in the ozone layer, have a thinning, a less concentrated ozone distribution in there. And this is because of this guy, CFC, or chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon is a molecule used it has many uses in the industry, but when it gets high in the atmosphere and when it receives UV radiation, it breaks down into CFCl2, releasing a chlorine atom. And the chlorine atom catalyzes the breakdown of ozone into oxygen molecules. So basically, CFC breaks ozone. And why was that a problem? Because of this. The ozone, there was an ozone hole in 1980 over Antarctica, but this hole started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? It reduced the growing, and now it's quite stable because we started dealing with them. Why? Because we started taking care of the places that has CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. Where did we find chlorofluorocarbon? Aerosol sprays, they use CFC as the medium to expel the liquid that goes into aerosol sprays, like in deodorants. Okay? Refrigerators, air conditioning devices, they used chlorofluorocarbon as the gas inside there to cool down the air. Okay? Styrofoam, like that box over there, or like this one. Yes, when I was your age, McDonald's had the package of Big Mac and other sandwiches over there wrapped into styrofoam boxes. And to make styrofoam boxes, you need chlorofluorocarbon. You needed chlorofluorocarbon. Okay? So here, chlorofluorocarbon, 26% refrigeration, 16% in solvents, 25% in foams, 26% in aerosol sprays, and 7% in others. And the problem is that when I was your age, we consumed lots of refrigeration, aerosol sprays, foams, all of those with CFC. So my generation started taking care of that. We started trying to banish the use of CFC. How did we do that? We did that by forcing the reduction of the consumption of chlorofluorocarbon. So this here was when I was your age. It was over here, 1980 to 1990. By that time, and specifically here, by the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, my generation, your parents' generation, we started banning the use of chlorofluorocarbon products. So we stopped using aerosol spray. Yeah, okay, so no deodorant for a while. So the industry changed for squeezing deodorant or roll-on deodorant or stick deodorant. So the industry quickly adapts if they start losing money. We stopped eating at McDonald's. In less than 1 year, all McDonald's all over the globe changed from styrofoam to the cardboard box that we have nowadays. So, no, not because they won, not because they are nice, but because they started losing money, because we stopped eating there. We start forcing parents to buy refrigerators and air conditioning that didn't use chlorofluorocarbon. So this is what my generation did. And we actually solved the problem. The use of chlorofluorocarbon today is very, very, very small. Okay, a few countries didn't ban it, so it's a very small use. This is an example of how we can fix global problems with local attitudes. Okay, this is quite important. Okay, ozone is a greenhouse gas. Okay, as oxygen. Oxygen is a greenhouse gas, but has a small role as greenhouse gas. Okay, it's much more important to block ultraviolet radiation. So ozone is different to CO2. Don't get confused. Okay, greenhouse is not ozone role. Global warming is not ultraviolet radiation. Okay, although the ozone is a greenhouse gas, it has a very small role on it, and it is very important as a filter for ultraviolet radiation. Okay, and the carbon dioxide, methane, some nitrous oxides, those are the guys that have a strong greenhouse gas effect and that are leading for the global warming. Don't confuse those two. That's quite important. Okay, if you want, there are two interesting videos. One showing how ultraviolet radiation causes aging and cancer. The QR code is here. The other one showing the world seen under ultraviolet. So basically, you see that guy's purple face. That's because he put sunscreen on. So the sunscreen is absorbing ultraviolet radiation before it's capable of hitting its skin. So I suggest those two videos are interesting. They are going to be very enlightening for you to learn more about ultraviolet radiation, ozone layer, and so on. Okay, so we have a few questions here for you to show that you have learned what was presented to you in this class. I hope you had fun.